So you've got these two forces, right? Two big ideas about what leads to real success. One tells you to just put your head down and grind. The other says, no, you've got to look up, think differently, get creative. So which is it, the grinder or the dreamer? Let's get into it.
It really starts with this image, doesn't it? Hemingway's old man, out there, alone, coming up empty for almost 3 months straight. I mean, that is pure, raw persistence. It's the poster child for not giving up. But here's the thing. What if he was fishing in totally the wrong spot? Is just being persistent really enough? And that's the question we're wrestling with today. Do you win just by refusing to quit, by being the last one standing? Or do you win by finding a smarter, more creative way to do the work in the first place? Okay, so let's tackle that first idea, the one that's become this modern gospel in the business world, grit, this simple, powerful idea of just not giving up. You know, the psychologist Angela Duckworth really put this on the map, and her definition is key. Grit isn't just about being stubborn. It's a mix of passion and perseverance. It's having the ability to see things through, to follow through on those big long-term goals that really matter to you.
So let's pull this out of a fishing boat in the Gulf Stream and drop it right into, say, a modern Kenyan office. Because this isn't some abstract theory. This shows up every day. It's in the colleague who says anything is possible, but never delivers. It's basically the entire culture of a company. All right, let's do a quick mindset check. I'm going to throw a few statements out there. For this first one, be honest. Your intelligence is something very basic about you that you can't change very much. Do you agree or disagree? The idea that you're kind of dealt a certain hand and that's just it.
Okay, how about this one? You can learn new things, but you can't really change how intelligent you are. It's a bit different, right? It says, sure, you can pick up a new skill, but your core intellectual horsepower, that's fixed. Where do you land on that one? Now let's completely flip it around. How does this feel? No matter how much intelligence you have, you can always change it quite a bit. This is the total opposite. The idea that your intelligence isn't some static number, but something you can actually grow. Agree or disagree? And here's the final one, the strongest version. You can always substantially change how intelligent you are. Not just a little, but a whole lot. Really think about it, because how you answer these questions, well, it says a lot about how you approach pretty much everything. So, depending on how you answered, you probably lean towards one of two camps, according to the researcher Carol Dweck. If you agreed with those first two statements, you've got more of a fixed mindset. That's the belief that talent is born, not made. And if you have to try really hard, well, that's just proof you're not a natural. But if you agreed with the last two, you've got a growth mindset. You believe effort is what actually creates talent. And this is why it matters so much in the workplace. The data is pretty clear. Companies with a growth mindset culture, they have more trust, more innovation, and they're way more willing to take risks. Compare that to those padlocked cultures with a fixed mindset, where the boss only bets on a few star performers and everyone else is just trying to look smart and not get blamed for anything. And we've all worked at a place like that, haven't we? The company that sounds amazing in its PR, all about empowerment and innovation. But inside, the reality is rigid and fearful. Carl Jung just cuts right through all that noise. You are what you do, not what you say you do. Your actions show your real mindset every time. But is grit the whole story? I mean, what if that relentless, always be grinding culture is actually a trap? This brings us to a really fascinating counter-argument, the incredible power of the long pause. So for this, we have to go way back to the 1490s in Milan. The artist is Leonardo da Vinci. The commission is one of the most famous paintings in history, The Last Supper, and the deadline is looming. But Leonardo isn't grinding away. He is doing the exact opposite. For hours, sometimes days on end, he would just stand there and stare at the wall, seemingly doing nothing. And his patron, the Duke of Milan, he's getting pretty angry. He's paying for this thing. He wants to see paint on the wall. He wants progress. And Leonardo's reply is just legendary. He basically tells the Duke that the staring is the work. That's when the ideas are forming, when the composition is taking shape in his mind. The thinking is just as important as the painting. And this is my favorite part. This is how he finally gets the Duke to leave him alone. He calmly mentions that he's really struggling to find the perfect face for Judas, the betrayer. But, he says, if the Duke keeps hassling him, he could always just use his face. I mean, can you imagine? Yeah, the Duke left him alone after that. That whole story just makes you rethink another one of these famous rules of grit. This whole idea that just putting in the hours is enough to achieve greatness. We've all heard this number, right? The 10,000-hour rule, made famous by Malcolm Gladwell. The idea that if you just practice anything for 10,000 hours, you'll become a world-class expert. But it turns out the real story is a little more interesting than that. And here it is. This is the secret sauce. It's not about just showing up for 10,000 hours of mindless repetition. It's about 10,000 hours of deliberate practice. That means focused, systematic effort that's specifically designed to push you just past your current limits. It's all about the quality of the hours, not just the quantity. This is such a critical difference. Efficiency is about doing things right, but effectiveness, that's about doing the right things. You can be incredibly efficient at rowing your boat in a perfect circle. That's a lot of grit, a lot of work, but it's not effective. It's just being busy. So let's bring this all home. We started with this idea of the grinder versus the dreamer, but it's not about picking a side. It's about realizing that these two things, grit and creativity, they absolutely need each other.
Grit is what kept the old man on the water for 84 days. It's the resilience, the stamina, that pure refusal to go home beaten. Grit gets you in the game and it keeps you there.
But grit by itself isn't the answer. Creativity is what makes all that effort actually count. It's the insight, that long pause that tells you where the fish are. It's the imagination that points your boat in the right direction so those 84 days of hard work aren't wasted. So in the end, maybe this is the thought to leave with. We celebrate grit, and we should. It's essential. Your grit is what got you here, to this point. It proved you can stay on the water. The real question now is, where will your creativity take you next?